I'm sitting with Jason Lam. Jason is sales manager from Milborne Realty. We know each other from a very long time, and we dealt on so many projects. But today, the project which we are discussing is one of the elite project in the town of Toronto, and it's one of the most desiring area. The rest we can discuss with Jason. Hi Jason, how are you?
Zia, how are you? Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I know you are quite busy. A great excitement when any project comes, and especially the projects which has a lot of demand and where we see a lot of value. We always bring and introduce those projects at Buy Low and Sell High program at this TV show. Today we are introducing one of the best project of town in today's date, which is 8 Cumberland. And 8 Cumberland is Yorkville. It is right at the heart of Yorkville, which is the southwest corner of Yonge and Cumberland. We're going to discuss about this project. Definitely we'll try to give as much information as possible to audience about this project. But let me ask you, let me take your opinion, the way real estate Toronto is going so well, and there is a news about Vancouver as well, that there is a taxation big time. How that can go into a favor of a Toronto real estate?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, we're very multicultural, Zia, and you're seeing a lot of different communities grow. You're seeing a lot of ethnic groups grow. People come from all sorts of countries around the world, and I think you're getting a lot of people that are going to look at Vancouver's model and the taxation and say, you know, maybe let's go to the biggest city in Canada and invest there, right? So I think that's very important for our market, for its stability and its health.
Well, the way we are seeing Toronto real estate market, yes, we pick the niche area, we pick the niche pocket, but between us, to be quite honest, in Toronto, everything is selling today.
It is, and I think people are, it all starts with low rise. Right, I think affordability is critical, our population increasing is critical, and people are looking at condominiums as the most practical way to live. And because of affordability for low rise, you're seeing a lot of people choose between whether we want to live downtown Toronto and pay X amount of money to live in a condo, or we're going to live in the outskirts like your Oshawas and your Cambridges and commute. So you're seeing a lot of people from the younger generation to even females that are now living in condominiums and owning for themselves, renting for themselves, and I think that's very healthy for our marketplace.
No, definitely, and right now, 8 Cumberland is one of the biggest buzz going on in the city.
Yes, it is.
And I know, because even my clients, they are inquiring quite a lot about this project. So tell us about 8 Cumberland.
8 Cumberland is, you're right, it is in Yorkville. It's at very close to Yonge and Bloor, which everyone can identify with. And you talked about it being the heart of Yorkville, but I actually like to reference this as being the heart of this entire city. And the reason why that is because that's where we connect our very important subway lines. And at that location, we can go north, east, south, west in any direction. And if you think about how many people are moving through Yonge and Bloor on a daily basis, it would probably compete with Union Station.
Of course.
And then we go into employment. We go into the cost of living. You talked about Yorkville with the lifestyle, the restaurants. It is a community within itself. And when you walk through Yorkville, it's a very special experience. And we have U of T very close by. So you have a very high, big response for renters locally, internationally. I talked about employment being very high. We have beautiful office towers very close by. Reference library is just across the street. But ultimately it comes down to lifestyle, infrastructure, public transportation. It has everything. And when we think about real estate, I think there's a line that you always like to say on your show, which is location, location, location. And it doesn't get better than Yonge and Bloor, Yonge and Cumberland for this entire city of Toronto.
No, definitely when you talk about the luxury of neighborhood, the quality and the richness of neighborhood, trust me, if one can walk in Yorkville, they can feel, they can see, they can sense.
That's right.
That's the beauty of this neighborhood is. And there's not a lot. It's a very little pocket, right? How much of projects like, we introduced in the recent past, very few.
That's right.
So there is not much happening. So it's one of the it's one of those projects that it comes once in lifetime. So one has to avail it big time. But say if we can make a threshold, if we can draw a line on a Bloor Street, south of Bloor Street, north of Bloor Street. So between Yonge and Avenue Road, right? That little pocket is Yorkville. And this little pocket has a tremendous amount of value in terms of real estate, in terms of renting, in terms of ownership, in terms of so many things. And real estate, I'm in an investor-driven market. Investors always buy properties. Certain properties for the sake of making dollar on dollar. But there are certain properties when you invest, when you own, when you have the ownership, it's a pride of ownership.
Yes.
You feel so proud that I have that piece of real estate, and Yorkville is among one of those. Let's talk about the builders of Yorkville. They are very renowned. I want audience to know from your end that how big these developers are.
Well, when we think of the Toronto landscape, there's only a handful of builders that are truly elite. And I think Great Gulf definitely is in that top tier. Phantom Developments, which is another partner, is in that top tier. They've been in the business for several years, building iconic locations and buildings, definitely being a part of the community. And obviously you have a great relationship with them.
Exactly.
So I think when we think about the skyline of what Toronto looks like and what it's going to look like, you're going to see a lot of Great Gulf product, you're going to see a lot of Phantom Developments product, and you're going to notice the quality. And that's very important. And you talked about Yorkville sort of being really that special. And the truth is, people having that sense of pride and ownership, you're going to get the AAA tenants, right? You're going to get the AAA, the best of the best. And I think that honestly, you cannot find that in the city like Yonge and Bloor.
Great. So it's a total of 51 stories, right?
Yes.
And how many units in total?
There are 371 suites in our beautiful building.
Wow. So it means it may start from one bedroom all the way up to the penthouses, right?
Correct. That's right.
And how this sales process would start? Like, what is the total sales process? So if you can guide the audience a little bit, that I know it's not launched fully.
Right.
It had given in the hands of high-performing agents who built relationship with both developers, with Great Gulf Homes, Phantom, as well as with Milborne Realty on board too. So what is the next step if audience sees in terms of buying units in this building?
Well, you're going to see that it is very exclusive.
Yes.
When you get a location like this with 371 suites, you have to understand that we are going to go to the people. This is a treat. This is really, truly an iconic location. And this is not for everybody. And we're going to only go to the people that we've built a beautiful relationship with, the true high performers such as yourself in the community. It's the build relationship, is to make sure that we recognize all the work that you have done, as well as our other platinum agents. We are not selling yet, you're right. We are expecting to get worksheets right now.
Yeah.
Make sure that your clients have multiple selections. And we will commence the process probably late August, early September, which you'll be able to secure your suite.
Great. Again, Jason, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Audience, as Jason did discuss a lot of important points as far as 8 Cumberland is concerned, about the location, about the actual area where it's going to be built, which is the northwest corner of Cumberland and Yonge. To proceed from this point onward, if you are interested to buy at 8 Cumberland, it is quite important. Either you have to give me a call or send me a quick email. We'll go for a quick break. Stay with us.